The rhythmic chug of the train echoed through the night as it barreled along the tracks, slicing through the darkness like a steel serpent. On this fateful journey, a man named Albert found himself aboard, unaware of the malevolent presence that lurked within the confines of the carriage. Albert, an unassuming traveler with a penchant for adventure, settled into his seat, anticipating a quiet and uneventful ride. The other passengers appeared weary, their faces etched with the weariness of a long day's journey. The atmosphere in the train was heavy, suffused with an unspoken tension that seemed to unsettle even the bravest souls. As the train rumbled on, the night grew darker, and the air grew colder. Shadows danced along the walls, their eerie movements casting a sense of unease upon the passengers. Albert, ever the curious soul, couldn't help but notice the subtle glances exchanged among his fellow travelers, their eyes filled with a mixture of fear and trepidation. The train hurtled through a desolate stretch of countryside, far removed from any signs of civilization. The darkness outside seemed impenetrable, as if the very night itself held its breath, awaiting something sinister to unfold. It was then that Albert spotted a peculiar figure seated at the far end of the carriage. Clad in tattered garments, the man's features were obscured by a wide-brimmed hat and a scarf that concealed his face. Something about his presence sent a shiver down Albert's spine, an instinctive warning that danger lurked nearby. As the train continued its relentless journey, Albert's gaze inadvertently locked with the enigmatic strangers. In that brief moment, a wave of dread washed over him, as if he had glimpsed into the depths of a bottomless abyss. To his astonishment, the stranger's lips curled into a chilling smile, revealing a row of unnaturally sharp teeth. The sight was so unnerving that Albert instinctively looked away, his heart pounding in his chest. In an attempt to shake off the unease, Albert turned his attention to the other passengers. Their expressions mirrored his own apprehension, their eyes darting nervously around the carriage. Whispers of an ancient curse passed through hushed conversations, tales of a vengeful spirit that haunted this very train. The legend spoke of a tragic incident years ago, when a train derailed on these very tracks, claiming the lives of all aboard. It was said that the restless souls of the deceased now wandered the train, seeking retribution for their untimely demise. As the train hurtled through the night, the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. The lights flickered, casting eerie shadows that seemed to writhe and contort. The air grew thick with an otherworldly chill, seeping into the bones of the passengers, freezing them in a grip of fear. Albert's heart raced with a mixture of curiosity and dread. He couldn't shake the feeling that he had stumbled upon something far more sinister than he had ever imagined. Little did he know that his own fate was inexorably intertwined with the malevolent presence that lurked in the shadows, waiting to unleash its horrifying power upon the unsuspecting passengers. As the train hurtled through the night, the passengers' fear intensified. Whispers of disembodied voices carried on the wind, filling the air with an eerie chorus. Albert's heart pounded in his chest as he tried to make sense of the growing terror that enveloped the carriage. The enigmatic stranger, with his haunting smile, seemed to radiate an aura of malevolence that infected the atmosphere. Albert's gaze involuntarily drifted back to the mysterious figure, only to see him rise from his seat and begin to move slowly down the aisle. With each step, the stranger's presence seemed to warp the reality around him. The once familiar surroundings shifted, morphing into a twisted and macabre nightmare. The walls of the train pulsated with an otherworldly energy, and the air became heavy with a sickening stench, a mingling of decay and despair. Albert's instincts screamed at him to flee, to escape the clutches of this unholy presence that now loomed closer. But something held him in place, an inexplicable fascination mixed with a morbid curiosity. He felt inexorably drawn towards the unfolding horror, unable to tear his gaze away. As the stranger reached the middle of the carriage, he turned towards the terrified passengers, his eyes gleaming with a malevolent light. With a voice that seemed to crawl from the depths of the underworld, he addressed them, his words dripping with venomous intent. "Welcome, dear passengers, to a journey you shall never forget," he hissed, his voice resonating with a haunting echo. "For tonight, the train carries more than just the living, it carries the tormented souls of the past, seeking vengeance upon the living." A collective gasp escaped the lips of the passengers, their faces pale with terror. Albert's mind raced, desperately searching for a way to escape the clutches of this nightmare. But the train hurtled forward, seemingly unstoppable, its wheels screeching against the tracks, as if propelled by an unholy force. The stranger's words echoed through the carriage, each syllable a chilling proclamation of doom. He spoke of a curse that had bound the train and its passengers to a perpetual cycle of horror, forever doomed to relive the events of that fateful night when lives were lost and souls were trapped in eternal torment. Caught in the grip of despair, the passengers clung to each other, seeking solace amidst the encroaching darkness. Albert's mind raced, his thoughts a whirlwind of desperation. If he were to survive this nightmare, he needed to find a way to break the curse, to unravel the mysteries that held them captive on this macabre journey. With determination burning in his eyes, Albert rose from his seat, his heart pounding with a newfound resolve. He would not succumb to the terror that gripped the train. He would be the one to uncover the truth behind the curse, to free himself and his fellow passengers from this nightmarish ordeal. As Albert stood amidst the trembling passengers, he felt an inner strength surge within him, a glimmer of hope in the face of overwhelming darkness. He knew that to break the curse and save themselves, they had to confront the source of the malevolent presence that haunted the train. With unwavering determination, Albert began to rally the frightened passengers, urging them to join forces in their fight for survival. Together, they formed a circle, their trembling hands interlocked, their collective wills uniting against the encroaching horror. As they focused their collective energy, a faint glimmer of light appeared at the center of their circle. It grew brighter with each passing moment, illuminating the darkness that had consumed the carriage. The malevolent presence recoiled, its grip weakening as the passengers' resolve solidified. Albert, sensing an opportunity, stepped forward and addressed the enigmatic stranger, his voice filled with unwavering courage. "We will not be prisoners to this curse any longer. Release us from your grip, reveal the truth, and let us find peace." The stranger's face contorted with rage, his eyes blazing like fiery coals. He unleashed a tormented scream that reverberated through the train, causing the windows to shatter and the very walls to tremble. But the passengers held firm, their collective strength overpowering the darkness that sought to consume them. In a final act of defiance, the stranger raised his hands, conjuring a swirl of dark energy that enveloped him. As the tendrils of darkness dissipated, a figure emerged, a soul trapped in a cycle of anguish and despair. It was a lost spirit, bound to the train by guilt and remorse for the tragic accident that had claimed numerous lives. The spirit revealed that the curse was a manifestation of its own torment, a never-ending loop of suffering and retribution. With compassion in his heart, Albert approached the spirit, extending a hand of understanding. "Your pain is real, but your actions can lead to redemption," he said, his voice filled with empathy. "Release us from this curse, and together, we shall find a path to forgiveness and peace." The spirit hesitated, its ethereal form flickering with uncertainty. Slowly, it nodded in acceptance, relinquishing its hold on the train and its passengers. As the curse shattered, the train jolted to a halt, the doors swinging open to reveal the dawn breaking on the horizon. The passengers emerged from the train, their faces etched with a mixture of relief and gratitude. They had survived the nightmarish ordeal, their spirits forever changed by the harrowing journey they had endured. As for Albert, his bravery and compassion had not only saved himself but also provided solace to the tormented spirit. He had brought an end to the cycle of suffering and found a path towards healing and redemption. In the aftermath of that fateful train ride, Albert's story became legend, a tale of courage, resilience, and the power of empathy in the face of darkness. He became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the most terrifying of circumstances, the human spirit can prevail. And as the passengers went their separate ways, forever connected by their shared experience, they carried with them the lessons learned from that night, a testament to the triumph of light over darkness and the indomitable strength of the human soul. At the end of this video, I hope you have enjoyed this story. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video to receive all new horror stories that are more exciting and mysterious. Thank you, my dears.